Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 Payne Stewart Award recipient, Paul Azinger.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. My palms are sweaty. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all very much. Enough about me. I dropped out of speech class, by the way, so here we go. I'm used to more doing the live TV and talking about what others are doing, but I really am humbled by this, tremendously, actually. You know, Payne was an awesome person. Jay brought up a little bit about what I want to talk about tonight about Payne, but I think the first thing I should do is, well, they want me to make a joke about how I won $360,000 when I won this tournament. I slept on a 3-shot lead, and I can remember that night thinking, you know, we choke for 2 things, cash and prestige. And I was choking for the cash, Jay, because it wasn't that prestigious at the time. And that's kind of been my mantra, but it's a very prestigious now. Anyway, that's a lot of money. It's not 18 million or whatever these guys got, or 20 million, but I think what's this year, 10 million? Scheffler's caddy made the same amount of money winning last week. But anyway, thank you very much, Jay. I appreciate it. I do want to thank all the players for coming tonight. I know you have a big week this week. You know, every one of you has a chance to cash in this week. You really do. And it's a great course, a great tournament, and I wish you the best of luck. I'm really honored to see the past recipients here. I'm proud to know them all. And they all do symbolize, I should say, what Payne Stewart stood for. And I just appreciate knowing you guys. You're all dear friends to me. Also need to thank Southern Company, 28,000 employees. That's a lot. You guys have given millions of dollars away to the recipients of this award. And I can just tell you that the money that you gave on behalf of Tony and I to our Compassion Center will be put into action immediately. It's not going to sit around. So you'll have an immediate impact, and I just want to thank you all for that very much. The qualities of the award are character and sportsmanship and charity, and as I say, I congratulate the past winners in this room. Crenshaw's not here. He helped me develop a magic short game through the years. Love Ben Crenshaw. And of course, Jack's not here. I serve on Jack's captain's council up at Muirfield Village, and we get a lot done in that room, don't we, Jay? I feel like, anyway. We hear a lot, anyway. I don't know what gets done, but I can't mention Jack without talking about Barbara and how Barbara, really, her commitment to Jack through the years was incredible, and she really set the bar for all the wives. And I just want to honor the wives for a second. I want to honor all the wives, really, from what you deal with and what you put up with. The emotion of golf is tough. And I asked him to run a video of Payne and Tracy after Payne was devastated after losing the Byron Nelson Classic, and hopefully that's shown. Tracy, did you ask Payne to walk through that field, or was that his idea? But that really is, to me, symbolic of what a wife and her commitment is to a husband. Payne was devastated, and there they are together. And you've been a great wife. You were a great wife to Payne. She cracked on me earlier. And you've been a great wife in his passing and keeping his legacy alive, Tracy, and I just love you. You're great. Aaron, you're awesome. Chelsea, it's great to see you guys grow up and be so incredible. And now I'm going to go to the most important part of the night for me, and that's to talk about my wife, Tony, who's been a steady heart of my life for 43 years, a partner whose loyalty has never wavered. Together, we raised 2 wonderful daughters, and so much of the women that they've become is because of her patience, her love, and her unwavering devotion as a mother. Tony sacrificed her own ambitions so that I could pursue mine, quietly caring the weight of our family with grace and strength. Her love has been constant, her sacrifices immeasurable, and her faith has shaped not only my journey, but the foundation of our family's story. Scripture says in Proverbs 31 that a virtuous woman is worth far more than rubies, and that's you, Tony. You've just been awesome. She clothed our home with strength and dignity, and she has always given more of herself than she ever asked for in return. So tonight, I just want to say thank you for your love, your faith, and for walking beside me all these years. You're the best. Now, Tony, I'd like you to come up and share a few words. I'm just kidding. None of that was ever, more evident than when I was diagnosed with cancer. I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at the prime of my career, and that shook us to the core. I think it shook the golf community to a core. But it actually created a different outreach for me. I was then able to now be an encourager to other folks that have cancer and are fighting the battle, especially after I survived, and I still do that today. We began to think differently, I feel, kind of after I got sick, maybe even before that, because pain had a big impact on us. But we wanted to be more purposeful in our charitable endeavors. And one day, Tony came home and told me about this compassion center in Lakeland, Florida. And she was so excited about it. It's a big redistribution center, and she asked me to go see it the very next day, which I did. And we both immediately fell in love with the concept of the compassion center. This isn't a handout. This is a hand up. And we're trying to help struggling families and foster families first and foremost. And so when I saw the Compassion Center, the two of us together had a new purpose in life, and we wanted to build one in Manatee County. And that was a process. It was a tough process. I'm kind of catch up with the teleprompter here a little bit. But our purpose did change forever. We now are committed to what's going on in that building. I want to thank Moses Van Art for running that building and all the volunteers and all his staff that go in there. Can you imagine how you could get $52 million worth of food and non-food items through that building in just 3 years? It is amazing. You walk in our building and it is full, and you come back 2 weeks later and it's still full, but nothing is in there that was in there 2 weeks earlier. It's incredible. When Hurricane Ian hit the state of Florida just 3 years ago, FEMA found our Compassion Center. The Health and Human Services were there in an effort to help children if they were in need after the hurricane. Well, when FEMA showed up, they showed up big time. Dozens of semis surrounded our building. Food surrounded our building. Water surrounded our building. And it was unbelievable. Fort Myers was sort of cut off from the north there for a while. Arcadia was completely cut off. Nobody could get to Arcadia for 4 days, but we were loaded for bear. And every redneck in Manatee County showed up with a pickup truck to help deliver food. So I just wanted to say that was an awesome time in our life. Again, the money that you gave us will be put to work immediately. So additional thanks. And I want to say thanks to some other folks real quick before I get to Payne Stewart. I'm trying to go fast because I only have so many minutes and I'm going really slow. I say hi to my college teammates. I know they're watching. I love you guys. We still get together after 45 years. We get together every single year and play golf together. My coaches, none of us would have ever been great if we didn't have help. I had tremendous help from John Redmond, who's passed away now. He was taught by Tommy Armour. He was taught by Sam Snead, and I got a lot of that. He loved Percy Boomer, and that was kind of my makeup as a player. Doc Sutty, my golf coach, is still with us, and I still talk to Doc Sutty today. He's still teaching. He's really Dr. Jim Sutty, and a great teacher. And Mac McKee, who was a boxing coach, who helped me learn how to be tough, how to visualize. He used to take on all comers at the fair, so he was a pretty tough dude. And anyway, that's the core of the player, the folks that really helped me to be a better player. Along with these players here that I played with through the years, I learned so much. I want to say a welcome to Dixie Keller, whose husband, Robert Fraley, was on the plane. It's nice to see you here, Dixie and Gray. It's great to see you here. Steve Herrig has come, this as a good friend of mine. He's come up here from Sarasota, Bradenton area. Steve Herrig is building the Myakka Golf Club. It's going to be one of the most expensive clubs in the country. And if you haven't heard about it yet, you will. It will be special. I promise you that. So thanks for including me as being a part of the co-design of that, Steve. I thank you so much. Bruce and his wife, Cindy Cassidy, are here. Bruce owns the Concession Golf Club, which has held a World Golf Championship event. Congratulations on landing the Senior PGA Championship in the state of Florida. Tiger turns 50 next year. That's all I can say. Maybe Tiger's going to come play. I hope so. Kieran and Sarah Mahoney, thank you. Sarah Mahoney has saddled up with Tony outside of our Compassion Center to try to help the victims of human trafficking. They run a big golf tournament. They raise a lot of money. It's incredible. Jerry and Christy Hager here, both from One More Child, the CEO, and really, I mean, you guys go on mission trips. You go all over the world, but they are the head of One More Child. Our heart is for One More Child. There are 5 different segments of One More Child. And but we are fully committed to the foster part of that and to feeding the single moms and that sort of thing. But I just love you guys. They're the ones we trust the most, and that's where we're putting all of our time. Dr. Ron Brond is here, who was the shrink at my Ryder Cup. Not really, but he was the guy that helped me put the players together in the famous pod system through like personalities. Ron, thank you for being here. And I want to thank my Ryder Cup team. Without you guys, I probably wouldn't be here today. I just know you guys really bowed up and played great for me and for the United States of America. Ron, his son Rich, is my agent. He's been my agent for a long time. Let's see, my brothers are here with their wives. I just appreciate my brothers letting me beat them at all sports so I could have confidence through the years. Jeff and Carol are here. Joe and Rhonda are here. My brother Jed's here. Also, I want to just say quickly about my mom and dad. They've passed away. Tony's parents have passed away. Tony's daddy was the great honorable judge, Judge Francis Houston. My dad fought in Korea and Vietnam. He was a military hero. He was my greatest encourager. He never had anything but positive things to say about me and about my golf, and I owe him so much. My mom, of course, was all about it. She was a heck of a player. Her sisters came and followed, and all her side of the family followed me and supported me through the years, as did my dad's side. My beautiful daughters are here, and they brought their husbands with them. There's Sarah Jean, and she brought Tim. And there's my beautiful grandchildren, Campbell and Houston. And there's Sebastian Mark, who was a heck of a player, won a tournament on that mini tour wire to wire, but decided to change directions in his life. And my daughter, who's an award-winning bridal dress salesman. She's unbelievable, and I'm so proud of both of you. I could not be more proud of you guys. I have good son-in-laws, too. I really lucked out. Okay, now, the hard part probably is getting to the Payne Stewart. You know, I've thought a bunch about how to, talk about Payne Stewart. It's not easy for me. There's been a lot mentioned. You guys know that we were dear friends by now. The first time I met Payne, he had acupuncture in his ear. It was in 1982 at the Magnolia Classic. And I introduced myself to him, and I asked him, what's this all about? And he said, well, this is to help me concentrate. And I thought, well, that's pretty flaky, you know what I mean? But then he won the tournament. So I feel like I was a better player the second I shook Payne Stewart's hand, because that was something that I hadn't considered, how to elevate my level of concentration. Then I began to buy books, and Tony would read them to me, of course. But we would read books together. I read The Psychology of Winning and The Seeds of Greatness and all those things, and she, read them as well. Tony's been such a great partner to me, and it's just been incredible. So Payne and I had kind of a competitive relationship, a little bit like what it felt like to see Rory and Justin up there dear friends, but neither's going to let the other win. You know, that's how Payne and I were. I remember when Payne won Bay Hill, and when he donated that money, you talked about $108,000 first place check. You know, Payne wasn't rich at that time in his life. He just wasn't. And that was a huge gesture. He donated that money on the behalf of his father who died from cancer, and he donated it to the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital. I've never seen anybody do anything like that in my life. Never knew anybody that was willing to give up that kind of money. Well, the next year I won Bay Hill, 1988. Well, I kept the money. I kept it all. We were broke. My wife and I lived in a 24-foot motorhome for 4 years, from 1982 until our daughter was born in 1985, and it was a 24-foot, sleep in the cab. That was a big deal. One day, Payne came up to me and says, hey, now that we both got the Arnold Palmer tournament, we got to win Jack's tournament. We got to get the double. Who's going to be the first one to get the double? Well, it ended up being me. But there's a backstory to that. You know, Payne was a snappy dresser, and I wasn't. And Payne talked me into stepping up my game a little bit, you know. So I dressed a little nicer, but he really said, you need to step up your shoe game. And I did. I went out and bought a beautiful pair of Crocs, crocodile, I don't even know what to call them. I got nice shoes tonight, too. The crocodile shoes, they were awesome. I'd had them for about a year and a half. And so Payne and I were trying to win the double to try to win Jack's tournament. We're in the last group on Sunday, as you described, and then I hold that bunker shot, and I was upset about it. As much as I was happy, I just clipped him. And but I felt a little better after all my press conferences, and I got in the locker room, and my beautiful crocodile shoes had bananas jammed all the way in them. Peeled the bananas, jammed the stuff in there. And I went to the airport in my golf spikes. We were obsessed with Ryder Cup, Payne and I. We played on 3 teams together. We began to see where Europe was starting to dominate. Payne told me, if I'm ever captain, I'm picking future captains as my assistants. I want Hal, Sutton, and you to be my assistants. And I was like, ooh, that's a good idea. That looks like that's what Europe does, which is what they do. But we haven't generally done that through the years. But we played Ryder Cup together. We obsessed it. We talked about strategy and that whole thing. And we just love that competition. We know we've got a big match coming up. We got a couple guys here that are going to be playing in that competition. And I wish you guys all the best of luck. My cancer impacted Payne's life. You touched on that. He became a real Christian after I got sick. My faith got me through it. My wife, my family, and all that. 6 months chemo was tough. 5 weeks radiation was tough. But Payne was the man. He saw my x-ray before I went in for biopsy. He called me. We had the same agent. And he called me when I had cancer right away. He showed up a lot at my house. He was my encourager. My life impacted his. His life impacted mine. When I found out about Payne, I think I'm getting behind on my teleprompter or I'm ahead, one or the other. But nobody knows how I ever found out how Payne died, I don't think. And it was tough. We were in the park all day at Disney. I played that weekend with Payne, Thursday, Friday. My mom's birthday was that week. We had a huge party. Payne and Tracy showed up. Robert and Dixie were there. Van, Arden, and his wife were there. And we really did have a great time. And when we said our goodbyes, we really didn't know that we'd never see each other again. I was on I-4. We were driving home, and I flipped open my flip phone, which was turned off all day, and it started buzzing. I called my brother Joe first, and he said there's been a tragic accident. And then I stopped at the nearest rest stop and pulled in and called my parents. And my mom was hysterical. And my dad grabbed the phone and he said, Paulie, they're all dead. I said, what do you mean? He said, the plane crashed and they've all died. I fell to the ground. I collapsed. I had no strength in my legs. I'm sorry, but I'm having a flood of emotions right now. Some emotions are good, some emotions are bad, some floods are good, some floods are bad. But I eventually got up, Tracy, after I found out. And my daughters were in the car with their friend, and we had to drive home. Then I had to call you. And then you asked me to do the eulogy about Payne. And of course, I was happy to do it. But that was a time that just devastated us all. Also on that plane with Payne were Bruce Borland, Michael Kling, Stephanie Belligurig, Robert Fraley, and Van Arden. Robert and Van were my agents. They were my best friends. My wife and I would have left our children with Robert and Dixie. It took a few days for us to recover from that. We stayed home. We didn't go to Orlando till it was time. And all I could think about was, what message can I leave the folks about Payne Stewart to bring any kind of comfort? And so I stumbled on this verse. I had help. I had people help me write this speech. But in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 7 and 8, and this is what I shared at Payne's eulogy. You fought the good fight. You finished the race. You kept the fight. And now there is in store for you the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to you on that day. And not only to you, but also to all who have longed for his appearance. And Payne did long for the Lord's appearance. He loved the Lord, and he died loving the Lord. Payne lived with a purpose. His purpose was beyond golf. His impact was beyond golf, and it lives today. Purpose isn't something we wait to find. It's something we live today. And my challenge to everyone is simple. Take one step this week that aligns your actions with your true purpose. Because when we live in purpose, we don't just change our lives, but we change the lives of everyone around us, like Payne Stewart. Thank you.